949. Now, we all know the economy is in for a rough ride, but how do you plan a recovery that makes life better for people in the future? Is that even possible? Well, last week, the Bristol One City Partnership, spearheaded by Bristol City Council, produced its recovery plan on the Bristol economy post-COVID. James Durie is co-chair of the One City Economy Board, who produced this document. James, hello, good morning.
Morning, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, the strategy is 94 pages long, so at the risk of undermining the detail, are you able to summarise what it's about?
Yes, certainly. And there is an exec summary, so people don't need to read all 94 pages for people who are interested. But I think it's a plan which a whole group of partners in the city, of which public and private, are working very closely together, which the council, as you say, are the kind of a central partner of, but certainly not the only partner, but include, lots of business organisations in the city. We've been meeting through the period of the impact of this coronavirus crisis. In fact, initially weekly, and then we've moved to monthly meetings in more recent weeks. And we, as well as trying to support each other and understand what was going on and how business can be given the right kind of help at the right moment, we have very quickly early on decided we needed to write a plan. So over 300 organisations and individuals have been involved with this over the last 4 or 5 months. And it's a mammoth amount of energy and effort which has gone into this. And we're expressing that we are in a period of change. We're not going to go back to where we were. But the fundamentals, economic fundamentals in Bristol are strong. But we are seeing some acceleration and some trends. We're also seeing clearly a lot of challenge for certain sectors of our economy, and we need to plan our way into the future. So this is a plan for Bristol as part of the city region, as clearly part of a national strategy around growth and renewal. We've embedded right at the centre of this plan things like inclusivity. So how do we make sure that all our communities get the benefit of a successful economy? And we know that under the pandemic, some of our, particularly women in business, particularly some of our more challenged communities, some of our ethnic diverse communities have been disproportionately impacted. We need to, I think, be quite deliberate in how we are focusing effort around inclusion, but also around lower carbon, zero carbon sustainability, because actually that is the future. There are a lot of opportunities coming out of that. So we've, I heard you talking about it earlier in your programme. We've focused it around 3 particular areas, around people and labour, business investment, and then around places and some of the growth areas in the city where we're going to see new employment, new jobs, yes, directly construction, but actually the workplaces of tomorrow are going to come in, and we need to make sure that we get the right plan in place.
The thing is, it's full of buzzwords and, positivity and action in writing, but would you recommend it for Nigel down the pub to read it? I mean, who is this plan aimed at? And is there a costed delivery plan for this economic recovery? Or is it lots of people getting together and talking about their hopes and dreams?
It's not immediately for the character you described to
Nigel.
Get into, unless they're Nigel in terms of you're particularly interested in looking at it, the whole of the city. What they will be interested in is that the city has a plan, as all towns and cities need to do, about how they're deliberately going to work together. How our universities, our councils, different parts of our economy going to work together? Do we have a plan? Because when we're trying to talk to investors coming to the city, they need to know about what do people want, what are the priorities. You're right. There is now work which we've undertaken to do. We had started to have some sessions to talk about this. How do we put in some costings? How do we make sure that we get access to the resources? The council have committed some funds, which we're going to be now talking about, but also there will be, through the likes of the Combined Authority and through central government, we will recognise that we need to have the clarity about ask, so that we're clear, and we want to influence the council's formal corporate policies, yes. But actually, beyond that, we want to give investors the right signals that when they come and put money into the city, when they come and people create new businesses here, They know where the Bristol's trying to go, where are its strengths. So I think this embeds the kind of, you said about buzzwords, but it's the kind of, what is the economic character of Bristol? And I think this brings it to life, I have to say.
James, thank you for explaining it to us this morning. James Durie, co-chair of the One City Economy Board, talking about Bristol's economic recovery plan.
BBC Radio Bristol.